guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Weekly Reads. Finally say hello to my excited self, because generally this is how I am when I film my videos, but then last week was not a good week for me, and this weekend as well was not a good weekend. I think this weekend has been one of my bad weekends per se, and I don't like that. But anyway, that being said, thank you to everyone who messaged me. Stop! Don't do that! Okay, so like I was saying, thank you to everyone who actually messaged me on Vox or otherwise as well, on the comment section as well, because I mean, that was very sweet and I really felt nice about it. And thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just like, oh, I'm like this about it. But anyway, I'm in my hoodie, by the way. Don't ask me why. I just feel like I just like, so basically I'm still not like totally out of that particular bad mental state like yet. I don't know why I'm telling this, but I'm telling it to you anyway. The thing is, on Monday, Monday is yesterday, because I'm filming this on Tuesday evening. So on Monday, I was feeling the same until like the evening. I would say like 8:30. That's night. That's not evening. But until 8:30, I was like feeling like the same. But then after 8:30, I was like all fired up, and I wanted to like do something. And I read a lot yesterday. And today morning, I woke up again. I just felt very sad and very exhausted, and it's just difficult because I don't know what's happening to me. Like, I did have a trigger over the weekend, but it was not like a major trigger. It was like an okay trigger, and normally I don't get triggers. Why am I telling you all of this? But anyway, so that's why today morning I couldn't film this, and right now here I am filming this weekly reads. Yay! But I'm feeling much better, so thank you so much, and thank you for being here. And you guys are my lovey doveys. Okay, cool. Let's get to the video now. I'm not a mushy person, but then this is getting too mushy. So let's get to the weekly reads. So the first book that so basically there have been quite a few books that I've started like in the past week, and there are going to be new books. The first book that I finished, the only book that I finished last week was Gin Petrol on the Purple Line. I have a physical copy. It's in here, so I don't want to like get up and pick it up. Basically, I like this book. This is a nice book. I mean, I won't like highly recommend it, but I recommend it. Okay, I gave it 3.7 to 4 stars. It is Slumdog Millionaire Part 2, but then it's a very sensitive Slumdog Millionaire Part 2. And I really like the innocence of the child through which this whole book is written. Basically, the premise is simple. There is a basti or a slum dwelling, and among like so a child goes missing, right? And there are these kids who go in search of him, or who play detective in order to go in search of him, and that's what the story is about. And the story has been written from the child's perspective, and that's what I really liked about the book. Like I said, like, that kind of innocence is very evident. The way Deepa Annapara writes on that particular perspective is something that I really liked, and that's why I recommend it. It's a nice book. I liked it. So yeah, that's cool. Now, let's get on to the books that I'm reading currently. So one of the books that I was reading last week as well was The Last Thing You Surrender by Leonard Pitts Jr. I've kind of like still stuck at the same place because I'm listening to the audiobook, and it's a nice book so far. I like it, but then it's just like a super long book. It's like a 20-hour audiobook, so I'm just taking my time with it, but I like it, so that's fine. The next book that I'm reading currently is actually this one. This is Nisha Susan's short story book, The Women Who Forgot to Invent Facebook and Other Stories. And I'm like actually reading one short story a week here, because that's the plan with this particular book, because this is my short story book of the month. Now, getting to the next book, like I'm just like getting like book, going to the next book and next book. I go like, okay, cool. The next book that I'm reading currently is Trying to Grow by Firdaus Kanga, and this is a buddy read with Sean the Book Maniac, and I really like this book. I mean, I won't say that it's like like, it's like a good memoir, non-fiction, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice book, and I also like the way he writes, the humor as well, and I recommend it if you want to read a memoir about like an Anglo-Indian, like, India from an Anglo-Indian perspective. It's not, something that's very traditional. It's very like Anglo-Indian, like I just said. And yeah, it's about the author. It's a non-fiction, and he's called Brit because he has brittle bones because of an ailment he has that I don't remember. Yeah, so it's a nice book, and even Sean's loving it so far. And yeah, that we are doing a good buddy read. Yeah, okay, that's also cool. Okay, so now let's get on to the books that I started in the past week, because there are two books that I started in the past week. And the first book that I started in the past week, like both of these are like amazing books, okay? Like I highly recommend both of these. First one is this one. This is The Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar. So this is again like a group read which is being hosted by Manya and Smriti from Sant Reads. So basically this book is like, I love this book. Like, this is the person I want to be in my life. Like, okay, so being an Indian, I do know about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I know that he is, he has a lot of like achievements to his name, but until today, I didn't know the magnanimity of that particular thing. Like, for me, it was like, okay, yeah, this is a thing. Like, I respect this person. But then that respect just like increased like 10 to 100 fold because I'm reading this book, okay? And I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to understand caste in general, and it is a must read for Indians. Like, if as an Indian you've not read this book, it's time that you read it. So basically the book that I have, it has Arundhati Roy's introduction in here. So as per Manya, you should not read that first. Like, it's okay, let's move on to the speech. So this is where I start the book, and this is where I am currently. And then there are already so many like sticky notes, there are already so many tabs in here. So yeah, that's the thing with it. Oh, my tripod just shook, I don't know why. Anyway, I'm just like super excited and trying to control my books here. So yeah, highly recommended. So this book does not necessarily, I would say, like, I like the editing of the book as well, okay? So basically, if you don't know, this is like an undelivered speech, and the organizers had asked him, I think the speech was supposed to be one sec, let me read it out, dude. One sec, where am I? Okay, so basically this particular speech was supposed to be, yeah, okay, cool, it was on the first page itself. So this is the speech that he had written. So it was a speech that was prepared by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and it was for the annual conference of, so it's pronounced as Jat Path Todak Mandal, and it is an undelivered speech. It was not delivered, okay, because owing to the cancellation of the conference by the reception committee on the ground that views expressed in the speech would be unbearable to the conference. And this is from 15th May 1936. So again, if you're an Indian, it's a must read, okay? Yeah, so while I was talking about the editor, so the editor is called S. Anand, and he basically has these kind of, one second, let me just show you an example. So he has these kind of footnotes. So if you don't understand context, then you have these footnotes out here. And also, before you read this book, if you do not know anything about the caste system, then I highly recommend you just search on Wikipedia what the caste system is about, and also check the Varnas, and then get on to read this book. So that will just take 5 minutes of your time, and then read it. It's an amazing piece of, I would say, I don't have a word for it, I'm sorry, but it's an amazing piece of like social reform, how one man is trying to like bring about a social reform of a kind of system that has been there in India since thousands of years. So highly recommended. Again, read it, you'll love it. Okay, cool. I just realized this week's weekly reads is going to be longer than usual, but the next book that I'm reading, again, highly recommended, like highly recommended, is Disha Fill Yours, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I think that's a book. Church ladies, church women. I'm not sure, but I know that this has been a rage on BookTube of recent, and I want to read it. I just want to get my hands on it, and finally I have it. Dude, this book is amazing. Like, if someone would have asked me, like maybe last year, what is the underrated read of 2020, this would have been an underrated read of 2020. Like, it's that good. I think the thing is that, like, I I really appreciate underrated or underdog authors, if that makes sense. And Disha Filio is one of my favorite authors now. The point is, these books or these stories are regarding religion, gender, sex, LGBTQ community, like people are queer and stuff like that. So I highly recommend it. And I know that it's, I don't know, like I have a word for it, but I cannot remember it now. But my point is, read it. Okay, read it. It's a highly underrated read. I really love it a lot. It's expensive in India for now, but I hope it becomes available soon. But I'm reading it anyway, although it's expensive. But yeah, read it. It's an amazing book. Okay, cool. That's it. So that's it for my weekly reads this week. I hope I've not missed any books. So remember when I told you that I want to read like 3 books only a month and I just want to read like 4 books a month? Well, yeah, that's not happening apparently. And I think like one thing that has like kind of moved me through this kind of mental state has been reading, because I've been reading because like I started reading or listening to Disha Filio's book over the weekend, and dude, like I'm done with 80% of it already. Like, it is a 4-hour read and it's a short read, but then I've never, like, the last time I think I actually like was this quick with an audiobook, I think that was Sway by Matthew Bocci. So yeah, like when an audiobook is that good or when a book is that good. So yeah, and for now I'm just going to be like, scrap that 3 book at a time policy. I'm going to read as much as I can and just enjoy the effort of my life, because I'm just going to be like chilling. Okay, cool. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my Sunday upload. Bye.